Did you know that you can create graphics right in PowerPoint? Hi there, welcome to my channel where I show you all the cool things you can do in PowerPoint. Today we're gonna have a look at how to create graphics in PowerPoint from the ground up. We're gonna be creating this beautiful slide with animated hot air balloon levitating in the skies. All graphics that you see here will be created from scratch right in PowerPoint using the available tools, and then we'll add animations to bring this into life. And before we jump into the tutorial, I would really appreciate it if you support the channel by hitting the like button and subscribing. Also ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. And without wasting any more time, let's get straight into it. First off, let's open a blank slide. To help me with the colors, I'm gonna bring in a color palette that I've prepared earlier. I'm gonna place it outside the working area. If you're following along, you can make a screenshot of this color palette and use it in your slide to color the graphics that we will be creating. The first thing that we'll do here is create the hot air balloon. We want to start by creating a simple oval. For that, head over up top. Make sure you're in the Home tab. And here you'd need to click on the Shapes tool. In the drop-down, select the oval shape. Now click anywhere on the slide. That will create a perfect circle for us. We'll need to change its size, and to do that, let's select the circle, then navigate to the upper ribbon, make sure you're in the Shape Format tab, and now let's set the values for the width and height. My PowerPoint is set up to use centimeters. If you're using different values, that's fine, just make sure that your oval looks similar to mine. I'm gonna set height to 8.4 centimeters and width to 9.4 centimeters. Now let's remove the outline around the oval, and before we do that, we need to open the format pane, which is this button right here, and when clicked, it's gonna open the format pane on the right hand side. Here we'll need to go to the line section and choose no line. Perfect. Next, we're gonna draw this curved bottom part of the balloon. I'm gonna go to the shapes drop down again, and this time I'll select the rectangle tool, click anywhere in the slide to create a rectangle. I'm gonna remove the outline. Now let's change its size to 2.4 by 0.97. And now we need to place it under the oval so that the right side of the rectangle is aligned with the middle of the oval. Watch for the appearing guides. PowerPoint will try to help align the two shapes evenly. Then we would need to increase its height so it overlaps with the oval. I'm gonna increase its height to about 3.5 centimeters. Perfect. At this stage, we're creating just the left side of the bottom part. As soon as it's done, we're gonna make a copy and merge the two parts. So what we want to do now is to modify the shape so that its left side would smoothly curve. With the shape selected, navigate up top to the Shapes Format tab, and over on the left side, click on the Edit Shape tool. Then in the drop-down, select Edit Points. Now we can grab the top left point and drag it left until it touches the oval's edge like this. Now I'm gonna select the bottom left point, then select this node right here, and move it so that the handle is pointing up. Then if I click the top left node, it's gonna show its handle, and I can make this side a bit more curved like so. And let's fix this a little. Perfect, the left side is done. And now let's make a copy. I'm gonna hold down the Alt and Shift keys and move the shape to the right side. Then let's navigate back to the Shape Formats ribbon and click on the Rotate tool. And in the drop down, I'm gonna click on Flip Horizontal. And now holding down the Shift key, I'm gonna move the shape until it snaps to the other half. Then we'll need to select all three shapes. And in the Merge Shapes drop down, I'm gonna click on Union. This will unite the oval and the bottom parts into a single shape. And now let's move over to the Format pane and change its color to Red Gradient. So I'm gonna go into the Fill section. I'm gonna select Gradient Fill option. We'll be using two colors to create the gradient, so if your gradient has more than 2 points, you would need to remove the excess points by selecting each, and then pull them down one by one until they disappear. Now let's set the left handle to the first color in my palette, and let's zoom out a bit so we can see the color palette. Now we'll need to select the left handle, then click on the Fill Color icon. And at the bottom, we want to click on More Colors. This will open the color pop-up. Now I'll just grab the eyedropper and click on the first color in my color palette. And now I'm gonna do the same for the right handle, except that this time I'm gonna select the darker red color. Once we're done, we would need to make sure the type of the gradient is set to radial and the direction I'm gonna set to from center. Alright, once we're done with that, we can start creating layers to give structure to our balloon. Each new layer will be a copy of the bottom one, but a bit smaller. So let's make a copy of the balloon and align it with the original shape like so. Then I'll head over to the shape format tab, and in the ribbon, I'm gonna set its width to 7.6, which is 1.8 centimeters less than the bottom shape. Also, I'll need to center align the two shapes. Now we need to change its color to light gray gradient. I'll repeat the process for creating a custom gradient, but this time I'm gonna be using the gray colors from my palette. The type and direction should be set to radial and from center. And now I'm gonna repeat the process 3 more times and create all layers, each being 1.8 centimeters narrower than the previous one. Let's see how we can apply gradient styles from one of the bottom shapes. Go ahead and select the red shape. Then in the Home tab, click on the Format button. You're gonna see that the cursor now has this paintbrush. And now just click on the shape that you want to apply the styles to. I'm gonna speed up the video and finish the rest of the layers. The next thing that we need to do is to add shadow to each of the layers except for the bottom one to give some dimension to the balloon. What you need to do for that is select the layers by holding down the Shift key, then head over to the Format pane, and here you'll need to switch to the Effects tab, and then expand the Shadows drop down. And when you open it, first of all, you would need to select a preset. I'm gonna choose Offset Center, then I'm gonna leave Transparency at 60%, Size I want to be 97%, and Blur I'm gonna set to 38 points. That is looking beautiful so far. Let's have a look at the original slide. The next step would be to add a rectangle to the bottom of the balloon. So let's go back to our slide. I'm gonna head over up top to the Home ribbon and click on the Shape tool. In the drop down, I want to select the Rectangle tool. Now I'm just gonna click anywhere in the slide. That will create a square for me. And now if I go to the Shapes tab, I can change its size by entering values here. I'm gonna set its height to 0.53 and width to 1.96. Apply the styles from one of the balloon layers. It shouldn't have any shadows, so I'm gonna use the bottom one. And now just place the shape right here. Also, let's group all these shapes, select each and press Command Option G. And once we're done with that, we're gonna move on and create a basket. Let's go to the Shapes dropdown, and this time around, I'm gonna select the Trapezoid tool. Then I'll click anywhere in the slide to create that shape. And now let's change its size. I'm gonna set height to 1.96 and width to 2.75. Also, we need to rotate it 180 degrees. Then I'm gonna go ahead and change its colors. First, I'll set the outline to no line. And for the color, I'm gonna apply yellow gradient. So let's choose Gradient Fill. And using the color palette, I'm gonna create the gradient. And just like we did earlier, I'll set its type to radial and direction to from center. And now I'm gonna go back to the Shapes dropdown and select the Rounded Rectangle tool. Create the rectangle and change its size to 0.56 by 2.85. And to apply styles to the shape, I'm gonna select the rectangle below the balloon. Then click on the Format button in the Home ribbon, and once the cursor has this little brush icon next to it, I can just click on the rounded rectangle to apply the styles. And now let's select both shapes and center align them. Perfect, now I want to add some decoration. Once again, we're gonna go to the Shapes dropdown. This time I want to select the star shape, And if I click on this slide, it's gonna create one for me. I'll go ahead and change its size to be 0.3 by 0.3. Let's zoom a bit so we can see it better. You can either press Command plus on your keyboard several times or just use the slider down here. Now we'll need to change its colors to gray gradient, which we can just copy from one of the balloon shapes. Next, we'll go to the shapes drop down once again, and this time we're gonna grab the line tool and holding down the shift key, I'm gonna draw a straight line about 0.9 centimeters. We don't have to be precise here. Because the line doesn't have a fill property, we can't just reapply the styles from one of the existing shapes, we'll have to set them from scratch. So let's head over to the format pane. In the line section, click on gradient line option. Then I'll remove 2 middle points from the gradient slider, and I'll set each of the remaining points to gray from my color palette. The one on the right side will be slightly darker than the left one. In the type drop-down, we would want to choose radial, and direction I'll set to from center, which is the third option here. Then I would want to change the type of my line. I'm gonna set it to round dot. And now I'll align the line and the star. Then let's select both shapes and put them into a group by pressing Command Option G. And once we're done with that, we'll need to create a few more copies and position them on the basket. And to make sure that we have equal distance between them, I'm gonna select all 6 groups, then head over to the Shape Format tab, click on the Align tool, and in the menu select Distribute Horizontally. Also, while still selected, I'm gonna group them together and bring them backwards so we hide the line behind the top part of the basket. We can now place the basket here. The last thing that we're missing here is the suspension cables that will attach the basket to the balloon. They will be simple lines, so let's grab the line tool from the Shapes menu and draw a vertical line about 2 centimeters long. I'm gonna change its width and set it to 4 points. Then click on the outline color icon, more colors, grab the eyedropper, click on the brown swatch in our palette, and click OK to apply the color. Now let's place this line right here. And to make sure that all 3 elements are centrally aligned, we can select them, and in the Align menu, choose Align Center. Great. Now I'm gonna create a copy of that line. I'll grab the bottom green point and rotate the line like this. Then create a copy of that line, head over to the Rotate menu, and choose Flip Horizontal. Adjust its positioning if needed. Then I'm gonna select all 3 lines, group them, and send them backwards. Alright, we just need to group all elements and our hot air balloon is now done. What we need to do next is to create a blue background. It's gonna be a simple rectangle with blue gradient, so just create one that would cover the entire slide. Remove the outline, and in the fill section we want to choose gradient fill. Then I'm gonna change its colors using the swatches from my color palette. Make sure the type property is set to radial, and direction should be from center. And now we just need to send it to back. Go ahead and click on the down arrow next to the Send Backward button, and in the menu, choose Send to Back. Perfect, we'll need to go ahead and create some clouds. There are 2 ways we can do that. The easiest one would be to use the cloud shape from the Shapes menu. I'm gonna create a few. You will notice that each time we create a cloud, they all look kinda the same. We can change them in size, but it would look much better if each cloud was unique. So let's quickly apply styles to these 3 clouds, and then I'm gonna show you how we can create our own custom clouds. Remove the outline, then choose Gradient Fill option in the Fill section, and create a very light gradient with bluish tints using the swatches from our palette. The type we want to be radial, and the direction should be set to from center. Also, I want to add some shadow to the clouds. And to do that, we're gonna navigate over to the format pane, click on the effects icon, and in the shadow section, we'll need to open the process menu. Here, I would want to select offset center. Then we'll need to set transparency to 85. Size, I'm gonna leave as it is at 102. Blur, I'm gonna set to 35. Angle and distance we'll leave at 0. And I'm gonna arrange the clouds on the slide. Now let me show you how we can create custom clouds. I'm gonna navigate to the Shapes menu and select the Oval tool, create an oval, then make a few copies and change their sizes and shapes, and place a few more on top. Now select all ovals, and up top in the Merge Shapes menu, we would want to select Union. Now just copy the styles from one of the clouds by using the Format tool. Alright, now go ahead and create a few more and arrange them on your slide. And when you're done, bring the hot air balloon to front. Great, we're almost done creating all elements that we're gonna need before we start animating the slide. The last thing that we'll need to create is some text. So go ahead and select the text box tool and create a title for your slide. I want my title to say PowerPoint presentation, and actually I'm gonna have each word in its own text box. So later on when we will be animating, each can have its own animation. So I'm gonna go ahead and create my title. Then I'll change the text size to 60. And I'm gonna set font to Hey August. You can use any font you like. Now let me also color the text white. And let's also make sure that both words are centrally aligned. So I'm gonna go into Arrange, Align, and click on Align Center. Alright, perfect. We're now ready to add animation to our slide. We're gonna start with the balloon first. I'm gonna make it fly up and down infinitely. So let's select the balloon and head over up top to the Animation tab. I'm gonna click on the Path Animation and choose Lines. Now we would need to change the default settings. The animation will start playing with previous and last 3 seconds. Then we'll need to open the animation pane, and in here let's expand the timing section. And in the repeat setting, choose until the end of slide. And also we would want to expand the effects options section and activate the auto reverse setting, and also uncheck the smooth start and smooth end. Then we need to change the animation path a bit. If we hit the preview button, we're gonna see that currently it is flying out of the scene, so we're gonna fix that. Click on that green point and drag it up to the top. That's where the animation will begin. And then grab the red point and also bring it up a bit. That's where the end of the animation will be. Alright, now let's play the animation and see what we have so far. Now let's animate the clouds. I want them to appear on the slide asynchronously. I'm gonna start with the ones in the top left corner. Select them, then navigate up to the animations ribbon and click on fly in. If you don't see this option here, you will need to expand this menu and find it there. Over on the right, I'm gonna click on effect options and choose from right. Then let's set the start property to with previous, and duration I'm gonna leave at half second. I want these clouds to appear with a slight delay, so I'm gonna select the animation settings for the bottom one first, and in the animation spin over on the left hand side, I'm gonna set delay to 0.2, and the top one will fly in with a 0.6 delay. Now let's move over to the clouds on the right. I'm gonna select the top one. In the animation ribbon, click on fly in. Then change the direction to from right. It's gonna start with previous and last half second. It will enter the slide with no delay. Then select the bottom one. It's gonna fly in from top. Start with previous, last half second, and have a delay of 0.2. And I'm gonna go ahead and repeat the same for all clouds. Let's play the slide and have a look at what we have by now. We're making some good progress here. And finally, let's animate the text. I'm gonna select both text boxes, apply the flying animation, change its direction to from right, set the start setting to with previous, and duration to 1 second. And also I want to add a bouncing effect at the end of the animation, so I will check the bounce and checkbox in the animation pane. Then I'm gonna select the first animation and set the delay setting to 0.2. And for the second animation, I'm gonna set 0.6. And this brings us to the end of the tutorial. Let's play the slide and see the result. Alright, that is it for this tutorial. I hope you found it helpful. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more presentation tips and tricks. Until the next time, bye!